So I got a gentleman coming today. He's up towards Chicago. His name is Rob. He's got a YouTube channel called Rob's Garage. And he's been seeking me out. He wants to do a little story on the history of Titan. But I've also asked him to join me into making a YouTube on the history of Marion County. And here he is, the first time we're meeting.
How are you?
It's Rob.
Nice to see you.
Glad to meet you.
You too.
We're just going to go from here, and I will end this video right here.
All right.
I've always wanted to go back to Marion County since the last show there, which I believe was like 88. But I was there for the first one in 82. And when that show was going to get started, nobody knew what to expect. This was all new for the trucks. Granted, you had car shows, but this was strictly four-wheel drives. So it's like, okay, what's going to happen? And that first year, they knew this was going to work.
It was big.
It was big, yeah. Second year, they knew it was getting bigger. But they hung in there. And what was pretty neat on the first and second year, people that worked for family events back then would go around with a clipboard and ask you, Rob, what do we need to improve on? Phil, what do we need to improve? They were going around asking everybody. Because this was all new to them too.
Yeah.
And so I've always wanted to go back to Marion County because Marion County Fairgrounds is only like probably 7-8 miles from the state fairgrounds.
Or maybe.
Where they relocated. But I never had. Well, then Mike Comfortfield was going to come to the Indiana Jamboree at the state fairgrounds. He'd never been to it. And he said, let's go to Marion County. I'd like to see that because he's always read on the magazines about it. He wasn't around when that
He
started.
has the magazines of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hadn't seen nothing yet. I said, Mike, let's do it. I've always wanted to go. And I said, let's make a video when we go. I've always wanted to do that for the guys that weren't even born yet, for the guys that were pretty young, and for the old timers to bring back memories.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we were there when it all started. I said, nobody's ever done this. Let's do it. And so we planned this out. I called the fairgrounds at Marion County, talked to the lady in charge, got permission. We were allowed to be there as long as we wanted. We just had to be careful. Don't get in the way of other people. And so when we got there, I asked the lady, I introduced myself, and I asked the lady, is there anybody still working here that was involved with this four-wheel drive Jamboree from back in the days? She said, yeah, we got one guy, but it's his day off.
Figures.
So what I did is I took pictures of certain trucks that I'd seen over the years. And the way we found where the trucks were parked was by the buildings, maybe an electrical panel box, an air conditioner on this building, light poles, the color of the buildings. And that's how I was able to pinpoint, oh, this is where Night Stalker was. This is where Bigfoot was. This is where this Big Toe was. And we were able to nail it. We nailed it completely where everything was back in the day, the way I saw it and other people from different years. And we did have problems finding one. I told Mike, it's got to be around here. And it wasn't making sense. The building didn't look right. So I walked inside the building, started scraping a little paint. Mike, this is it. It was the right color. They had repainted a different color completely. All the other buildings were pretty much the same color.
So basically, we're going to do a before and after, or
going back in time.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean all these trucks. Like I found the building for Big Toe.
Oh, this is all the Marion County stuff.
This is the Marion County stuff. This is the buildings we look for by pictures.
Okay.
For some of these trucks.
Hi, everybody. Hey, I've been wanting to do this video for a long time. Been wanting to come back to Marion County Fairgrounds, where the monster truck had their most exposure ever. Um, Started in 1982. Grizzly Adams was the Grand Marshal. Trucks like Bigfoot were here at Marion County. Um, Godzilla. Um, Mike, can you help me out?
Barefoot.
Barefoot, Aces High, USA 1. My truck made it here. But what I'm going to try to do, Mike is here with me to do this video, and so much has changed here that I got pictures so we can get our bearings, and we're going to start off on how the track was laid out. The bleachers have been relocated. We're going to do our best. Right in here, this area here, where the bleachers for one side, and then other bleachers on that side. And the track ran this way, from my left to my right. But now, I walk over this way, and we'll show the people how this track's laid out now. And the way I got my bearings is by that building over there. I got a picture where a truck Satisfaction was going through the mud bog, and by the location of the poles, we were able to narrow this down a little bit. So this is the way the track is set up now. The bleachers have been relocated in a different location at a different angle. Then we got a track out there. We can't go out to the track. They won't allow us. We had to get permission from the board just to be here. So what we're going to do now, since now we know the track ran from my left to my right, we're going to go out front to the entrance, and I'll show some pictures of where I first saw Big Toe. Mike, can you help me on who the owner was of that one?
Rob Frykowski.
Rob Frykowski. It was a Ford tow truck, and I got a picture of the building that he was parked along, and we'll go from there. So we're gonna hop in the car and drive over that way. Okay, one more thing I wanted to say before we leave this area here. We just got done talking to a lady by the name of Shelley, and she did tell us that these are new bleachers. And well, that section back there is an older section, but she's pretty sure it wasn't from 82, 83, or 86. But the thing I wanted to say is, we were watching the mud bogging and the racing, and all of a sudden, storms rolling in. So everybody took off running because it was black. It was a nasty looking storm. So as I took off running this way, there is a little field down there. I took off running this way. I stopped, turned around, and took a picture that was very well known of Aces High, sitting up at an angle, and you can just see the storm that's rolling in. But like I said, it rained so hard and so much. There was semis stuck out in the fields. They had a problem of towing them out. People's trucks were stuck. Cars were stuck. It was just a total disaster. So now we're going to go up towards the front and take it from there. Another thing I wanted to bring up about in this area here, another year at Marion County, I can't recall what year, but if you looked over the bleachers and you looked down, there was Carolina Crusher when it was gray, and he had the scissors lift on the bed of his truck. But then there was also another very popular picture where a little farther down into the field, there was Big Bird, King Crunch. You help me out, Mike?
Southern Sunshine.
Southern Sunshine.
And Deuce's Wild, the mud truck.
Wow, they were all parked in a row, and I think there might have been 2 more trucks. But that is another popular picture that was also has been posted on the computer. So, okay, that's it for this area here. We got to get out of here because they got racing coming, and we got a limited time on how long we can be. Okay, now we come to the other side of Marion County Fairgrounds, away from the grandstands and that. down in this area is where they had the monster truck corral, other trucks displayed, show trucks, Jeeps, everything. But one of the most iconic trucks that I also seen here, besides Bigfoot and USA 1, was a truck by the name of Big Toe, and he was parked right here. It was heavy rain. He showed up, and he was parked along here. And in the picture, this building is in the background. And that's how I was able to get the actual location of that. And then the building behind mine is also we were able to nail it for sure. And then this house right here was also here back in the early 80s. And this tree right here, it was here too. So now what we're going to do is we're going to head back. We're going to head over here to where the trucks, some of the trucks were parked, where they had their big top tents with the green stripes, where I met Everett Jasmer. Bigfoot trucks were over here. And then we're going to show you the parade route that they did over here, several of the monster trucks. Okay, now in 1987, Titan made its first debut at the Jamboree. Even though I'd been coming since 1982, my truck finally made it here in 1987. And this is the area where we were parked. Our trailer was over here. But the way we were able to pinpoint that I was here is by that house over there. It's in the picture. So what happened is we had to use power to finish tightening up our lug nuts. And we had to drive up to that building up there. And on the way back, in one of the pictures, you'll see God of Thunder and other trucks that were here for the show. The trucks used to be parked all in here, all back in there, and that way. Those bleachers weren't there. This wide road was here. This was all grass at one time. And those power box, junction box, or whatever, those were not there either. So there was trucks parked all the way over there. So that's take it from here. Now we're going to go to where the parade route was. Okay, folks. We were able to secure the location where the Black Knight was parked when he made an appearance here at Marion County Fairgrounds in the early 80s. And the way we were able to do that, Mike, he found the white picket fence that used to be over here. And when we drove around, wait a minute, you got to find a building with a lot of glass. By looking at the picture that I have that will be posted, this telephone pole, this box, that panel box, and those two lines, and the windows, and this right here secured it for sure. This telephone junction box, and there was an air conditioner mounted on the wall when Black Knight was on display right here. And as you can tell, it was taken out. So, if you were here in the early 80s, and for the people that weren't, Black Knight was parked right here on display back in the early 80s. Okay, so we're still here in Marion County doing a little flashback in the history of Marion County. But right here in this location, Deuce's Wild was displayed right here for the people to see. Now, the way we were able to secure this location is, and make sure it was correct, was this is the only building here that was open like this. They've added the plywood. We found out that they added the plywood. But then this building was green at one time. If you look closely at the picture I'm going to post on it, we found green paint under the white paint. And with this grassy area and I remember the fence line, we were able to actually say this is where Deuce's Wild was located.
And for you fans out there that don't know about Deuce's Wild was built by Dale Hancock, who also was the creator for Crimson Crusher. That was one of a few trucks that ran on tractor tires back in the day. and he also ran with TNT and a couple other different promotions as well. But seeing Deuce's Wild, or seeing where Deuce's Wild was from then to now, 40 some odd years later, is pretty kind of cool, ain't it, Phil?
Yeah. I'm gonna admit, when we first started pulling over here, it, it brought back a lot of memories. I've been coming to these events since '82, and it did bring back a lot of memories. I've met a lot of great people. Um, just on the other side of this building is where I saw John Milwaukee's Mud Monster. I didn't know John, but I caught a picture of him driving past me, and on the tailgate it said Mud Monster. And over here to this fence line, and you'll see the picture so we can prove it. Along this fence line right here, there was a row of Jeeps. These Jeeps, these guys were kind of ahead of their time, man. They were big lip kits, big tires, like it was back in the day. But you'll see the picture. There's about 7 of them parked in a row. I don't know who any of the guys are. And I'm hoping after this video is seen that if I'm wrong in something, I would appreciate people helping me out. You got to figure I'm going back to the early 80s. Over 40 some years, Mike.
Just about, yeah.
So if you guys can throw in some information to help me out for this flashback going back to Marion County, I'd appreciate it. But I would love to hear from the guys that own them Jeeps. I would love to hear some of them guys chime in and tell me, was that a club or just a bunch of guys that just hung out together? From the picture, you'll see that these are some bad Jeeps. But here at Marion County, my gosh, this was the place to be. The trucks were just mind-blowing. The events that went on, mud racing, the contests for the people, to get the people involved. The staff would go around asking the people that came to these events, what did they need to improve on? And it just went from there. But the show got so big, so fast, that they had to end up relocating to the Indiana State Fairgrounds. But next, we're going to go talk about the parade run. So, and we found the location for Pony Express, so we're going to do that too. So this is the location where Pony Express displayed back in the day here at Marion County Fairgrounds. Once again, we nailed it by the light pole in the background. There was some different type of venting system up here, but it was changed to air conditioning. And we did a little checking into the building. There is green paint underneath that black. We found a couple locations where we found green paint. It's pretty much the same color. So if you were here back in the early days of Marion County Fairgrounds, Pony Express, right here on display for everybody to see. I just wanted to say, this is why we're here. A flashback, 1982, Fall Jamboree, put on by Peterson's Four-Wheel and Off-Road magazine. This was the first year. Grizzly Adams was the marshal here. Again, Bigfoot was here. USA won. Deuce is Wild. Mud Monster. Some of the big names. Barefoot. And we just wanted to show you what the magazine looked like after the event happened in 1982. Right here. Collector's item. Right here. Marion County Fairgrounds. So we got the parade route the monster trucks took when they were here at Marion County. Came down this road here, turned here, and then they went past the administration building right here. And in the video of the parade route, you can see this building. And what they did, they just continued down this way. They barefoot, the Toyota. Mike, can you help me out?
Flying High,
Flying High, Deuce is Wild, USA 1,
All American, Samson,
American,
Eagle,
Eagle,
Southern Sunshine.
Sunshine. And what they did is they continued up this road right here. And they went all the way down, curved around, and then they ended up coming down this road right here. Down this road, headed back that way. Some of them parked here so that people could see them up close and get to talk to the owner drivers.
Over the past decade, the phenomenon of monster trucks has evolved into one of America's most popular motorsports. Every time these giants roll forth, they're met by the cheers of thousands of fans. Among the highlights of all giant truck gatherings is the parade to the Monster Corral. With chrome shining, paint gleaming, and flags flying, the drivers ease their machines through the crowds with military precision. Pickups, Suburbans, Jeeps, or muscle cars. Anything can take the giant leap into this unique sport where imagination and ingenuity run wild. We're looking at some serious automotive science and spending in this lineup. Nobody gets into this sport on the cheap, and that shows from the high-powered, supercharged big block engines down to the complex multi-shock absorbing systems. Parade is where and when the fans get a good look at their rolling heroes. Here's the opportunity to snap a photo or wave to a favored driver and feel a part of the happening. Everybody wants a closer look at these awesome vehicles. How often do you see a tire as tall as yourself, or an axle as thick as a boxer's arm, or a truck cab that can be reached only with a ladder? It's no exaggeration to say that these trucks really stand out in a crowd, and their drivers love to stand tall among the competition. Inside the corral, spectators are free to move in close and check out the craftsmanship and ingenuity that make these high-tech vehicles unique in all of motorsports. These mammoth trucks are never truly at peace. Even when sitting still, they retain their incredible sense of power. One of the most outrageous sights you'll see is a bright blue Camaro on 5-foot-tall tires. Every driver has his own ideas about what makes the best truck, but they all agree on one thing: bigger is better, and biggest is best. And how about those paint jobs and nicknames? In a sport not yet taken over by big sponsorships, each driver still gets a chance to put his own personal imprint on his vehicle, and few disappoint. Sure, you've heard of Bigfoot and Barefoot, but how about the Crimson Crusher, or Pac-Man, or Flying High, or Burning Desire? Then there's First Blood, Sudden Impact, Overexcited, and many more. These are the all-American monster trucks. Showmanship is king in this sport. Fluttering flags, wild paint schemes, nicknames to boggle the mind. Every mechanical gimmick that the innovator's mind can conceive of eventually seems to show up on these trucks. These drivers take their play seriously. Everything possible is done to entertain the fans and humble the competition. When it comes to muscle, these top-of-the-line blown, fuel-injected engines can shake ground with 1,500 horsepower. Even the smallest guy on the block boasts more than 500. High-tech is the name of the game here. These trucks utilize high-performance, 500-cubic-inch racing engines, complete with magnetos, electric fuel pumps, and even remote-controlled engine shutoffs. When giant trucks first made their appearance in the late 70s, they weighed in at up to 15,000 pounds. Now, thanks to their special weight-saving innovations, many cross the scales at half that. And how about those tires? The smallest are 4 feet tall. The average tire hits nearly 6 feet.
So that's how we're going to end this, the parade route. What better way to do it? A lot of history's happened here since 1982. I've been fortunate that I've been to every event ever since it started. I know there's other guys out there that have come to all the events also. And what's pretty neat is I saw a truck at the Jamboree today, a Ford, older Ford, and he had a picture of Marion County Fairgrounds, 1982. So this is how I wanted to end the video with the parade. I want to thank everybody that's followed the monster trucks, not only mine, but all the other ones. Without the fans, this event still wouldn't be going on. So a big shout out to the fans. Thank you. And we've appreciated all of you for supporting us for all these years. So, and I hope to continue seeing people when I'm out, and I just enjoy talking to people and hearing your stories. So that's why this video was done. Like I said, I've been wanting to do this for a long time, come back to Marion County. I finally got to do it. And with the help of Mike, I give him a big thanks too. We do have one other thing we want to bring up before we leave, but this part of the video, this was the best way to end it for me, I thought, the parade. So thanks again, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to hear your input on it. If you got stories you want to tell, we would love to hear them. So goodbye, everybody, and thanks again.
So here we are, hanging out, putting a video together, and look at all of this stuff Phil has. This is amazing.
Scan the jackets if you want.
This is what we're going over to make this video. So I took pictures of these already.
I wanted to do this video because this sport has been around because of the fans. I always give credit to the fans. The monster trucks still wouldn't be in existence if it wasn't for all you, everybody out there that enjoys trucks or high performance motorsports. But there has to be a lot of editing involved in this, and I don't have the capabilities of doing it. And Mike Comfield, who helped me out with the videotaping at the fairgrounds, we were there about 5 hours, just trying to find locations, talking to people to get this put together. But it's done, and then Rob was generous enough. When I talked to him, I heard about him. I asked him, Rob, could you come on board to help us out to put this video together for all the fans that are out there now, but also for the old timers like me, for the kids that were 5, 6, 7 years old, for the kids that weren't even born that are still interested in the history of the monster trucks. That is why I wanted to do this. I'd been wanting to do it for so long, but I never had. And then when Mike Comfortfield was going to come to the Jamboree at the State Fairgrounds in Indianapolis, he said, hey, can we go over to Marion County? And that's what got the ball rolling. But I also plan on posting pictures. Rob's going to help me out where we're going to post pictures of some of the show trucks that were there. And hopefully some of you guys that were there at Marion County back in the day, and a lot of us were pretty young. I mean, we were just in our teens, 20 some years old, early 20s. I hope you see some of your vehicles in there and you can chime in and comment about your truck, you know, how long you had it, what you did to it. And like I said earlier, I met a lot of drivers there who were just getting started. Tom Mentz was one of the guys. He used to be a mud bogger, but along with Bob Chandler, Everett Jasmer, and many other guys, Bennett Clark, the Clydesdale when it was silver and blue, a two-tone. So that is the purpose of this video. I hope everybody enjoys it. And it'll be posted on Rob Guy's Garage. His, can you help me out, Rob?
That's right.
Okay. Rob's been doing this for how long?
The truck and tractor pulling a monster truck's about 2.5 years now.
Okay. And now we're going to post this on his YouTube channel. And so I hope everybody enjoys this video and give us your feedback on it. I'd like to hear whether it was a good thing, bad thing, or you guys enjoyed it. And thank you for your time, and I hope everybody enjoys it.